Well, hello everyone, and welcome to 2026. For the Montecito duo, we just can't seem to escape. The new year didn't kick off with a quiet champagne toast and a mild headache. Instead, it started with a brutal reality check. As always, we're back with another South Park-style roast of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Today's episode is called The Warehouse of Broken Dreams. We're looking at the cold, hard numbers that suddenly popped up online, thanks to, let's just say, a not-so-savvy web team on the Sussex side. As Kyle would say, I guess those are the only 2 or 3 employees who haven't already jumped ship. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. First things first. Meghan Markle's would-be business empire, the As Ever brand, suddenly appeared not as a glossy lifestyle dream, but as something much more ordinary, a warehouse full of unsold stock. Thanks to a technical glitch on the brand's official website, the kind of truth that's usually hidden behind polished press releases and inspiring success stories was laid bare for all to see. Instead of yet another sold-out fairy tale, the world learned that 137,435 boxes of As Ever's signature jam are still sitting in the warehouse, unsold. Wow, Miss Markle sure has a lot of tasty treats stacked up in there, Butters would say, genuinely impressed. But Stan, staring at the screen, would probably panic. Oh my God, that's enough jam for all of South Park until the next millennium. Let that number sink in. And let's go ahead and forget the spin that everything is produced strictly to order. No, folks. This is a classic case of overproduction. Meghan, fully convinced of her own brilliance, churned out massive quantities, and now these endless piles are just sitting in warehouses gathering dust. And here's a funny little detail. In interviews, Meghan proudly calls it jam, but on the jars, the label quietly says, fruit spread. Ha! She doesn't even know what she's selling. Cartman laughs. And now, let's talk about how fast it's actually selling. Based on the numbers that suddenly popped up on the website, they're selling about 20 fruit spread gift boxes every 12 hours. And if that pace doesn't change, this could drag on for 7 to 9 years. And just to remind you, these aren't antiques. They're food with an expiration date. By then, Archie will be old enough to get his driver's license and get as far away from this circus as possible, Cartman would say confidently. Yeah, Kyle would smirk and add. And his mom will still be trying to sell that spread. Only by then it'll be the special mold-flavored edition. No wonder people online are already joking that the brand should be renamed from As Ever to Was Never, because any real profit seems to exist only in Meghan's imagination. Take the special candle launched for her birthday, for example. In 12 hours, it sold a whopping 7 units. Amazing! At that pace, she could sell a whole 14 in a day, Stan would sarcastically add. And all of this while 62,000 of those candles are still sitting in the warehouse. Tens of thousands of unwanted spreads, edible flower sprinkles, tea, bottles of wine, and that's not even the full list. It's gotten so bad that they've started giving the orange marmalade away for free as a gift with purchase, just to shrink the pile of unsold stock. So what do we have? Warehouses packed wall to wall with roughly $23 million worth of product and only a trickle of sales. Will somebody please tell her jam isn't whiskey? You don't need to age it for 9 years in barrels. Cartman won't let up. And against this backdrop, we're hearing that the Duchess of Sussex has no plans to slow down and that she's aiming to make 2026 even more successful. A cookbook is already in the works, based on her Netflix show. Yes, that show, the one that, putting it mildly, didn't exactly become a smash hit. And the cherry on top? There's even talk of a recipe featuring sea urchin. Brilliant, because sea urchin is definitely a staple in every regular family's fridge in Nebraska. And on top of the book, Meghan plans to expand her product line. Apparently the mountains of unsold stock weren't enough. It all sounds great on paper, but it seems Meghan is overlooking one extremely important thing: demand. Wait a minute. If you already have a warehouse full of unsold stuff, why are you making more? Kyle would ask, genuinely baffled. But Kyle, you're looking for logic in a place where it's been gone for a long time. And it's the same story with the Sussex's charity. The Archewell Foundation, which for years was pitched to us as a symbol of service to the world, turned out, by the end of 2025, to be exactly what many people suspected from the start. Just an expensive nameplate with nothing behind it. Let's look at their books without charts and graphs, in plain English. Donations dropped by more than half, but the real shock is that the foundation's spending didn't just stay the same, it shot up. Just think about the absurdity of the situation. They brought in $2 million and spent $5 million. And the lion's share of that spending didn't go to grants or helping those in need. Not at all. The money vanished into salaries, mysterious other expenses, and of course, security. The bottom line? They spent about 1.5 times as much on protecting themselves from imaginary threats as they did on actually helping people. Service is a dangerous business, you guys, Kyle would note dryly. Mom, if I spend all my money on video games and say I'm saving the world, will I get praise too? Butters would ask innocently. But money is only half the trouble. The real disaster was the staff. By the end of the year, that grand international humanitarian platform was down to exactly 2 employees, not 2 departments, not 2 offices, 2 actual human beings. Almost everyone jumped ship, including James Holt, their longtime loyal ally who'd been with them since their days as working royals. Even he, the man who for years smoothed over every whim and every failure of the Sussexes. He finally saw the writing on the wall, packed his bags, and moved back to Britain, far away from this slowly sinking ship. Dude, I have more people working at my taco stand than they have at their global foundation. Cartman couldn't resist. At this point, Archewell is basically just a pretty cover, no money and barely any people. By the end of the year, there were even reports that the Sussexes were scrambling to find a so-called fiscal sponsor. In other words, someone to pick up the tab while they keep the whole saving the world operation going. Funny how their service to the world seems to end right where other people's money runs out. And on top of that, it looks like Prince Harry may get his UK police protection reinstated. Taxpayers are thrilled, because paying for the security of a millionaire prince is exactly how everyone wanted to kick off the new year. After all, the public's top priority is making sure he feels safe and sound. It's such an honor to support a good cause, especially when that charity is mandatory, and the person in need just happens to be a royal duke. And as always, Butters waves goodbye with a big smile. Dear viewers, I'm sending you all little air kisses, nice, happy ones, just for you.